Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. A member of the Police Welfare Association is opening up about an internal conflict faced by police officers on a daily basis. Corporal Zachary Hippolyte says while it is his duty as a police officer to protect and serve, it is not the easiest job when the ones being protected are perpetrators of heinous crimes. Hippolyte's statement comes against the backdrop of the arrest of a suspect in the gruesome homicide which took place on Sunday, the 12th of July. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
What do you do when you are tasked with protecting the lives of persons who have been suspected or even found guilty of taking the lives of others? Well, this is a dilemma faced on a daily basis by officers of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force who are left with no choice but to adopt the All Lives Matter narrative and protect and serve even those who commit crimes against humanity. Following the brutal slaying of 24-year-old Anella Wilson on the night of Sunday the 12th of July, Corporal Zachary Hippolyte lamented the fact that he is now responsible for the protection of the individual currently in custody suspected of committing the crime. On Tuesday, Hot 7 TV reached out to him to get some insight into the world of the police, who put duty over personal feelings in order to do their job fairly and effectively.
Sometimes when we arrest individuals who may have committed, alleged have committed serious offenses, that it is a dilemma when, as a police officer, you're thinking that, hey, this person have done this person had no sympathy for the victim whatsoever, but me as a police officer, I have to have restraint, I have to observe your human right, I have to ensure that you receive all the rights entitled to you, and ensure that no harm comes to you when you yourself did not have that type of thinking or feeling for your victim. So it is a dilemma,
Corporal Hippolyte gave a reminder that although it is the duty of police officers to exercise restraint and remain judgment-free, they are still human beings.
There's this perception that police officers are void of emotion, that when we enter the training academy, maybe we are given some type of pill that takes away our humanity or emotions. But that is far from the truth. We as police officers, we are trained to enforce laws and to respect the human rights of everyone, whether it be a victim or perpetrator. However, we still have feelings. When we're arresting somebody who has committed a serious offense like murder or rape, we use our training to pacify these emotions, but like any other individual, we have feelings of fear, sympathy, revenge, anger, but we call on our training to help us keep our eye on the goal, which is that of justice for the family of the victim. So I want persons to understand, hey, we will continue to do the work we have to do in a professional manner, under the law, observing individuals' rights. But when we go back home as police officers, we still carry that load of what we've seen, that gruesome scene, a family or a relative crying over the death of their loved one.
Corporal Hippolyte said it has become imperative for officers to look out for their colleagues and encourage them to seek counseling when the load becomes too heavy to bear. With that said, the corporal stated that the police will continue to perform their duties to the best of their abilities under the ambits of the law. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Thank you, Rochelle. The director of the St. Lucia National Trust, Bishnu Tulsi, says there is a feeling of disillusionment with the intervention of the Development Control Authority at the site of the Cabot development. Tulsi believes that the authority ought to step up to see beach access reinstated for local use or offer an explanation as to why such action would be allowed on the part of the developer. Jacques Wooding reports.
The Cabot project, which will include an 18-hole golf course, residential community, and a resort, will be situated at Point Hardy Cap Estate on 375 acres near the coastline. Recently, a photo of the development site surfaced on social media after a local who was attempting to access the nearby beach was met by a wall of rock and rubble, blocking off the access point. According to Director of the National Trust, Bishnu Tulsi, this display of supposed authority by the developer is not only distasteful but is an illegal offense against the rights of locals to access the Queen's Chain. He has called on the Development Control Authority to intervene.
We recently saw that they have blocked the entrance to the property. Now, this is what happens when Development Control Authority does not control development. I don't believe that the DCA would approve something like that. But they now need to do their job and get the developer to remove it. They have the authority, no one else has that authority. And we would wait to see whether they will take such a step, because what the developer has done is really to tell St. Lucians, you cannot enter space that is part of your heritage. They have blocked access by St. Lucians to the Queen's Chain and to the beaches beyond the barrier, the barricade that they have put up.
Tulsi claims that to date, the developers of the Cabot project are still unable to meet the full list of requirements as published by the DCA to undergo such a mass development project in St. Lucia. He questions why works are being allowed to continue.
One has to wonder, how is it that Cabot is doing as they please, because there are major aspects of what they're doing that are not consistent with the conditions of the approval. The DCA has asked them for very specific information about what they plan to do, and they said they can't provide it. And the DCA is still allowing this to happen. One has to wonder whether this boldness by Cabot is as a result of facilitation by the DCA, or whether there are some political pressures being brought on the DCA, or whether at the highest levels of government, Cabot is told to do as it pleases.
Tulsi says St. Lucia belongs to St. Lucians, and the rights of people should not be infringed on when it comes to access to beaches. Jacka Wooding, Hot 7 News.
Ella Prosper has become a household name in St. Lucia over the years due to heavy scrutiny of her lifestyle and her openness about her past decisions. Over the last few months, she has been on a path to change her life and become a positive role model for young people who face adversity. This past weekend, she wed with the father of her 2 daughters, ushering in what she calls a new chapter for herself as a God-fearing woman, mother, and wife.
Hi, good day. My name is Ella Prosper Felicia.
As she reintroduces herself as a recently married woman, avid church member, and devoted mother, Ella Prosper Felicia admits that the troubles of her past may still linger with the Elias ecstasy, but will no longer dominate her life. Prosper Felicia revealed that she has found strength in the church and in her family, consisting of herself, husband, and 2 young daughters. She plans to use this newfound strength to advocate issues faced by young marginalized women.
Everybody have a past. My past is one that carry me to my future. This is why my future is bright. And I am brightening it up. I brighten up my future because I don't want my past to trail behind. Although it might creep up, people will talk, but we expect that. Who don't? We live in St. Lucia. Eh? We have 2 beautiful daughters, yes. And they are so excited. Even our 9-month-old, she's very excited. And well, my transformation, as I can say, it's been good because God have been blessing us. And my husband is definitely one that follows when he needs to. I know they say that men have to be leaders, but you know, sometimes we wives have to put our foot in front. And I'm one, I love God. I love the Lord. So I always step out, and the Lord have been ever good to me. This is my result of being ever blessed.
Living out her very own Cinderella story, she tied the knot on July 11th at the Grosley Nazarene Church. Prosper Felicia says she is thankful to everyone who joined her for this milestone, particularly her now husband, a man she realized had been placed in her life for the long run after he stood by her side while she was hospitalized in early June.
On the 2nd of June, I had a stroke. And it was a hard one for me, lying in the hospital for a couple of days and cannot move, just being there. And then he was there. I was asking myself, this guy's like 30 years, like 35 years. And how come I have a stroke and he just there? At this time it hit me. That is my real someone. Because he had already asked me to marry. We had a date. But then, when I came from the hospital, my pastor told me, we need to do something about this. The devil is creeping. And this is when he said, let's get married.
The dedicated mother says, though she cannot hide her daughters from the truth of her past, what she can do is present them a better future and proof of her growth and development. She believes that her story stands as a tribute as to how dynamic life can be, her motto being never give up. Jacques Whitting, Hot 7 News.
Thank you very much, Shaka, and congratulations to Ella. An enchanted wedding indeed. In other news, business owners are calling on the relevant authorities to clean up a mess that has been in existence and growing since the fire at the Ajuda building in the William Peter Boulevard on Thursday, the 21st of November, 2019. They say whilst the mess attracts vectors, it also repels customers.
Since the November 2019 fire on Labrie Street that decimated the Ajuda building, the ruins have become a dump site. Business owners in that area say it has become a nuisance and action needs to be taken to remedy the situation. Owner of the flower hut and gift shop, Firmus Popo, says people not only dump garbage in the area, but they also use it as a latrine.
Right behind me there, it's not a good sight to behold. Lots of garbage. I don't know where it's coming from. People just dump in there. You have vagrants who come, urinate there during the day. All day, in fact, people are urinating. And in the night, it's a toilet. And you have businesses right in this area. You have a canteen right there. You have shops and other food places in this area. So this is really something that is bothering the businesses in the area.
Priscilla Jalui is the owner of a canteen that has been in operation in the location for 7 years. She says the situation is costing her business.
From the time of that fire, and the bar there, my customers, they doesn't really want to make the wrong to come here, and that rubbish affecting me because the customers not coming.
Popo also indicated that in addition to the obvious health risks, the building itself poses a hazard.
They had erected barricades here, one to the, as you can see to my back, and the one where we're standing. The plywood was stolen, a few sheets of plywood, and the owner decided to go with the rest and just leave this place like this. Even the building itself, I don't know if it's a monument now, but it's really not something that should be in the heart of the city like this. It's even a hazard because there are blocks up there, cracked and so on, and any time an earthquake or some kind of bad weather could throw these blocks down, people can get injured. So I really believe the authorities should look into that.
The business owners are calling on the authorities and the owner of the now displaced building to do something that will remedy the situation of them losing customers and their daily bread. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.